Welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to continue our dragon destruction tutorial. In last tutorial we have made the dragon and crowd simulation. Now we are going to make the village and destruction part. So let's just open the file. This is our last network file. So let me just select all this and make network. Okay. And so this will be our crowd. You can change different colors. Okay, now we are going to disable this. Okay, so for our destruction house part, so this is just for our testing purpose. So now we are going to use our village model. So for this, let's just go for and I have downloaded this from Sketchfab or free3d.com. You can download everyone. So we have this village mix. Okay, yes, and it's quite big. So it has 4 or 5 different models of house. You can use any of this, or you can use your custom, or you can earn some building. You can do that also. So let me just transform this, and let me just check for value which I have used for this. I think I used 0.035. It's quite big, so now you can see it's in the size of this. So we are not going to fracture this one for the main house which dragon come from where the dragon come. See, so we are going to use this house or maybe this, or you can use this one also. I'm going to use this one so that so for selection of this, just select this one. So you select this one, or you can choose the name bar and press shift to select all this. Just group, and this will be our house. Okay, that's not okay. So now we are going to separate this from rest of this. So just use split, or you can use blast node to blast off. Okay, and we are going to use this one. Use it not set. Okay, now we have our house. So let me just place this where it's supposed. Okay. It's not. This is its flight path. So let's transform this to its position. Okay, just use null and always save your file. Okay, now we need to fracture this. So we can fracture this in two ways. Either we can fracture this whole completely, or we can just go for one by one. Just fracture this and this. So in my case, I have used different fracture types. So I have fractured roof different from the whole other part. So if you try to fracture completely with a single fracture node, it may be crash or it will take way more time. So we are going to separate this. So that means go for split node. Okay. And now we need to separate this. So now you can see it has different groups. So I am going to use the house 3 with and use this group and just use star or maybe here. Okay, now we have roof separated. So this one is roof and this one is your this one. So this is our roof and this one is our base. Okay, this one is our this and this one. So now for fracturing purpose we can use two method. Either we can use Voronoi fractures, which is Voronoi fracture this one, or we can use RBD fracture, material fracture this one. Both can work similarly, so just need to use this one. Before like connecting to this, let me just do some here, and we are going to use for fracture per name per piece. So either you can use this, just put roof so that we have good selection form, and just connect here. So it will fracture this, and okay, now you can see it has fractured this. If you don't select this one, it will be completely a single pattern, so it will look like repeated. So that's why I'm using this. Or either you can use this one, fracture per piece. It will also do fracturing for every single. See, and we can choose more fractures for like this one. Let me just go for just a big number, 10. Not too much because it will take more time. So this will be our fractured node. Okay. Or if you want like this will be like wooden, you can choose wood. But remember this will take way more longer time than this one. So that's why I'm not using it. Otherwise you can use this one, wood. So it will like fracture like wood. So nothing else we are going to change. Okay. So next we need to pack RBD pack. Okay, it will pack this because we need to fracture both these, then combine, then do the all constraint network things. So if you are not going to combine pack this, you will not be able to combine these two. So for this, let me just again do for RBD fracture. Now what we need here is, and it has fractured. See, it's like pattern here, here. See, so what we can do here is just bypass this. You can do is just change this frequency and use this fracture base. You can use fracture per piece, and for this you can increase this one, but I'm not going to increase this one, otherwise it will take way more time. So go less and just enable this one. So it will fracture this, and then again we will pack it, RBD packed. Then we will work on some constraint network. Okay, so it has fractured this. I think it's done a good job. Okay, now just pack this RBD pack. Okay. Now just merge these two. Both are combined. Then we can unpack this. Or if your file is taking too much time to calculate this fracture node, what you can do is you can use RBD IO node, this node. This will save your file. So just unpack here. And use this one to cache your frame. So you can choose what kind of geometry you want to cache, and just do for current frame or only specific frame. Okay, it will not look for, or just code from this you will have this file. Next we are going to let me just simulate for this RBD bullet solver, see what kind of results we are getting. Just connect this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, so just play this. See, it's falling down house. So what we need is a ground plane. So in this section you can have here ground, use ground plane, and first check, yeah, it's on the ground. Okay, now if we play this, you can see every house, this house will start falling. You can see that its constraints are also falling. See, these are falling, and because these are not breaking because of the strength value of constraints. So, and if I use our dragon here, so what we can do is we can object merge, we need to put here and just go for dragon, this one. Okay, now we have this, and we need collision geometry, which is fourth node. Select here, and in here, see, now you can see that in collision we can use concave, create animated static, or deforming static. Okay, Now if I simulate this, it's coming through this, and what we can do here is like our this constraint is not breaking up, every piece is maintained. So what we can do here is we can change all the properties here. So for this, let me just drag down here, and let me just configure this RBD configure, this one. It will configure every like properties here. So what we can do here is we can choose for which group we want to do this. So we can do is you can choose wood, you can use any type of wood, and to change the properties of constraint you can do is RBD constraint properties, this one. So constraints are basically, if I look here, and this is your constraint. So if I look here, this is your constraints. You can see like these are not connected to, these are like constrained in between like these pieces, but this piece is not connected to this, now similar includes, and the whole roof is not connected to our base. That's why it's falling down. So what we can do here, we need to like make or combine these constraints. So before going for constraint properties, we need to configure this. So if I come here, RBD constraint from rules, this one, put here, if I display this one, and don't worry, just disable this, sometime it showing me the group. Have here this group house A, and in here we have group house A, and here it doesn't have group. Okay, what we can do if it's not showing here, so we can just group this for our sake of, this is our roof, yes, base. Okay, now we can come here, now we can see we have this one, and what we can do is now we can use this roof. Okay, now you can see it has this node, so but still it's not connecting to each. So what we can do here is we can increase the search radius. See, now it can connect. Okay, so now if I simulate this, see now it's not falling. Okay, what we need is we need some properties. The constraint properties. We need this. Okay, now it has some properties. Now if I simulate this, see, now it's not falling. Now it's working properly. And same is for the our base, because see, every pieces is starts to falling down. So we can do same thing from here. Okay, RBD from rules. So let me just go for one more time. We are going to use for base this base. We need so we need from here base. Okay, it's not connecting. So again what we can do is, again we can do for 2. Okay. And we can just increase the connection to 1 or 2 if and just now we have connection in here. Okay, now it's not going to fall. Let me just see. And need constraint properties. So RPD constraint properties, and we need these for base. Okay, see, now you can see nothing is falling down. And we can do one more thing is, see, this base is try to slide this one. We need to pin this to ground. Okay, so now we are going to use our RBD configure mode. Okay, and we need to use this bounding box for our active region. Use bounding, use active, and what where we have what bounding box. Let's go for 20 by 20, and just we need to increase its height. So 2, maybe 3, maybe we can use almost up to this platform, or maybe below this. Okay, so it's now this is active. We need opposite of this, so just go this 0. So this part is active, this is not active. Okay, so just do this wood, and you can use anything. visualization is, and we need to, so now we can see that. See, now it's moving. See, but one problem is there, that our these parts starts falling. Okay, so what we can do is, and one more thing is, our roof is not attached to our base, so we need one more constraint for this. So from here, just go for Houdini on rules. Sometimes it doesn't. Try to do this, so just save this. Sometimes try to do its own thing. So what we can do here is we can use group to group, then we need to use our base and we need to use our roof. Okay. And this is our connector, base underscore roof. We have both, and we can look here again. Okay. I can see it's not completely connected, so just increase the touch radius. So 3, still not enough. 5, sorry, I have changed different values into this value. Okay, and one more thing, we need to increase its connection. Okay, and increase this. Okay, now it's connected, so need one more RBD for this. And this is for our base roof. Okay. Now we can enable this. See, now it's not falling. Okay. And we can also configure this to be like to fracture more easily. We can change the strength values of these constraint properties, like these 3 properties, these properties, or we can choose this to like change to some other constraints. So what we can do here is, let me just go for base connector base, this one, and its constraint property is this one. Okay, this is our glue network. We can switch this from glue to some other, like this one, and let me just decrease its value. Let me just go for 5000, and it will change from glue to soft, and we can choose stiffness to 100, and in here, sorry, in this network, we can do is, and income here constraint, this one, and come to breaking threshold. We can change this to, from like, change here from glue to switch to next constraint, and let me just use angle threshold, maybe 10 degree. Okay, now what we'll do, it will bend this base, then it will convert this to, yeah, I think angle threshold is a little higher. Let me just decrease this. Okay, let me just go for this one. It's working. This, or we can use this force threshold or impact threshold. You can use any of these. So if I go for distance threshold, we have soft also. Okay, and for roof, we can decrease this also. Let me just, roof is like almost 2000 glue, and base and roof also we can just 6000. You can variation these. Okay. And I think we need to adjust this with just a little back. We can do that. A little back. Okay, now we can see. I want this to at the time of when he jumps towards the house. Okay, now you can see. Just let me put here null. Okay, or you can use RBD IO to cache your instruction this part. Okay. Similarly, you have to do for like other houses, so that you can use this. Next part is we need to do is one more simulation here, which is for our smoke and for debris. To do debris simulation, I recommend you to just cache out this because after that we need to use one more debris network. So for the debris we are going to use debris source. This is also one kind of simulation node, works on here. Okay, now you can see. What it will do, it will like look for the points and all that. You can just go for increase search radius. To reset this. And we need two values to work here. We need to like unpack this one, and we are needing for velocity, basically V and W, so that it can work. Now if we look for this, now it will generate your debris particle. This is for your source purpose only. So you need to cache this out, this also, otherwise it will take way more time to simulate. Okay. And if you need more particle, you can just increase this one to a little higher number. If I like merge these two, you can see it's coming from all the moving parts. Okay. This is just for the sourcing of smoke simulation. See. So this will be your this part. So I think you have understand how to make this dissection of this house, and similarly you need to do for all the house which are in there in this network above. So do this, and we will do the smoke simulation, dust simulation in the next part. Okay, and goodbye. We will meet you next time.